everyone. Welcome back to My Unprofessional Opinion Podcast. I'm your host, Angela. So today we're saying rejection sucks, and that's okay. So a long time ago, it was almost a year ago when I started this podcast, the third episode. It's called something along the lines of dealing with rejection, something like that. That was one of my favorite episodes that I had done for a while, honestly. Like I was real in that one. Like I put a lot of work into it and I thought it turned out well. But that's beside the point. But you should listen. I was going to say watch, but it was just audio, so you should listen to it. Anyways, so about a year and a half ago, I really was going like ham on my job search because for those of you who don't know, I was in college, did my internship, graduated, job search just went like it was nowhere. I was applying, I was getting basically ghosted from every single place other than two. But those two just rejected me, and that's okay because it's whatever, you move on. So about 2 months ago, I want to say, a month and a half ago, it was a Friday night / Saturday morning because it was like around midnight. I was just scrolling, looking through jobs on Indeed, looking all across the country because I'm like, I don't know, like especially a lot of stuff is online and like work from home. So keeping it really generic, keeping it really open. And one that came up was, it says this caption writer job. And then that caught my eye because for the last year-ish, I have been writing captions for another podcast. So I'm like, hey, I got experience that because a lot of this is like, you need a bachelor's degree, you need 25 years experience, and you need to not retire for 50 years, or not that last part, but like you get what I mean. I'm like, listen, that's not me. I need a job to get experience. So like, help a girl out, please. Anyways, so this job, it said hiring ASAP, and it was out of Ontario, which is where I'm from, which is where I'm not living right now, but it's where I'm from. It's not from the city that I'm from. Anyways, so it said hiring ASAP. They wanted to make like a little introductory video to just like say who you are and what you're about and why you think you'd be the best person for the job. So I'm like, you know what? It's midnight on a Friday / Saturday. What else do you do then? You know, sleep? Who's she? I don't know her. So I was like, let's do it. So I did it. I recorded it. I sent it off. I went to sleep. I checked my email the next day. There was nothing, which is such a shock. And then just out of curiosity, I checked the next day as well. The next day when I checked it, I did actually have an email saying that they wanted to set up an interview or a pre-interview for the next day, for the Monday. So gave me a bunch of different time slots and it's like, hey, just select one. So I did, and I was kind of freaking out because I was like, what, like this is so fast. Like one, no one else has really responded to me. Two, this person responded to me in like 48 hours, less than 48 hours. Anyways, so I then, because I knew nothing about this company, well, that's a lie. I had watched some of their stuff because so I never said this. This company is like, from what I understand, a marketing company that just take care of other businesses' social media. So that would be my job, is writing captions for these different posts, which is fine. So I watched a few of their videos and like, it was like was it a podcast? Yeah, it was a podcast. So I just like watched a bunch of the stuff just so I could kind of get a feel and like know what to expect somewhat. And anyways, the Monday came. I had the interview. I thought the interview went really well. I don't feel bad about the interview at all. But afterwards, she was saying to me like, oh, like we just want to have this like little test experiment kind of thing where we're going to give you 2 pictures, write 5 captions each for them just so we can like get an idea of your work and what you would do and whatever. Which is fine. So, you know, I did that. I got the pictures. The first one was good. I don't really remember what it was, but because this was a little while ago. Anyways, the second one, it was like a woman sunbathing. She had sunglasses, a sun hat on like a pool, one of those like pool lounge chairs. You know what I mean? It's always at like resorts. Well, I've never been to a resort, but I think they're at resorts. Anyways, on it, it says, you're a bad A, fill in the blank, B, fill in the blank. And just saying that made me feel kind of uncomfortable. And, when I say this, I don't want it to be like, oh, it swears, like, don't let it get in my, like, little kid ears. It's like, I've obviously heard those things before, but one, I don't swear. Like, that's not in my vocabulary. I don't think those words are really necessary. Do I hate on people that do? No. But do I do it? No, because that's my choice to do that. Your choice to do you. You're going to deal with consequences. I'm going to deal with consequences for each of our actions. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want that to just come across as like, oh, she's just a Christian girl who doesn't swear. It's like, I mean, sure, you can call me that, but you're going to deal with, or you're going to get the consequences for your actions. I'm going to get the consequences for my actions. You don't need to worry about other people that you don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I mean, though. Even if that was like more in my vocabulary and words that I used, I'm just like, this is a job. I would think that you should keep it professional. You know what I mean? Because like, I know even just when I was in school, one of my classes, we had a radio show and like it was on a TV show, like a web show. We did 2 different classes. And it's like, you could not swear on it. It's like, I was like, I mean, that was, like I said, not hard for me, but it's like other people, like it's so second nature to them, which like I said, that's on them. That's their decision. They're adults. They're going to deal with whatever consequences come. Anyways, so they're told like, don't do it. But then this picture has it. And in the little instructions for the test, like this experiment thing, it said, feel free to use like swear words or cuss. I think it's like cuss words, emojis, slang, like all that stuff. And just seeing that made me feel really uneasy and uncomfortable because I was like, I'm like, I don't know if I want to really be a part of this environment. So anyways, so I called my parents and then my dad was saying like, oh, this might just be a test to see kind of what you do and how you take it and the angle you kind of take. My mom's like, yeah. And my sister said that as well. She's like, just write it how you would write it normally, whether it was there or not. So that's what I did. I wrote them. I sent them off. I actually felt really good about them. I was like, I thought I did a really good job. And then the next day I found out that I didn't get the job and they're not moving forward with me. And it was one of the weirdest feelings because it was me being rejected, which sucks. But then it's also like this like peace that now I don't need to like even really think about this anymore. You know what I mean? Like, because I was just, like I said, I was feeling really uneasy and really uncomfortable. So then I was like, oh shoot, like if they want me, like how do I tell them no? But then it's like, my whole job search, I'd been praying that's like God would just open the doors that need to be open and like slam the others shut. The slamming has definitely been happening. The opening, there's been little creaks, but that's about it. Anyways, so I didn't really tell anybody. I told my family, and I told one of my best friends. I told Deborah. She's like my best friend. Also, speaking of Deborah, you should check out our YouTube channel that we just launched. It's called Pan and Peaks. It's going to be linked down below. Here's a little snippet of what we were going to get up to.
When I was younger, like I always just thought that it was just me. And again, back to that stigma conversation of thinking, there's only one race that mental illness affects and only one gender and all of those different things. So it kind of just already added to the loneliness that I was feeling at the time.
I feel like you're going to ask questions that like I know, and my mind's just going to like go blank.
Yeah. You both look like you're really thinking about that one. Do you need a hint?
Do I get bonus points if I give multiple?
Yeah, I was gonna say it.
Sure.
I know.
Cool, we're back. She texted me on the day of my interview. So this was before I got rejected. So we're gonna backtrack a little bit. So she texted me just saying like, oh, when's your interview? I'm like, oh, it was like 3 hours ago or whatever. Like it was before. So she's like, how'd it go? Explain it to her. And she's like, like don't change. Be you, like write it how you would. And I'm like, yeah, we love confirmation. Anyways, so we did that, sent it off, got rejected the next day. I texted Deborah saying like, hey, I didn't get it. Just wanted to let you know because I'm like, okay, like I only told a few people and I didn't want to tell everybody because I'm like, well, if I don't get it, I don't want to have to go back to everyone and be like, hey, I didn't get the job, you know what I mean? So I only told like my parents, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, and Deborah. I told 6 people because my parents. So then she was just saying like, oh, like, you know, it's all gonna work out, blah, blah, blah. Like something's gonna come up. And then I can't remember if it was that day or the next day. I think it was that day. Like our conversation had ended because I think I texted her in the morning. Our conversation ended, and then a few hours later, she's like, hey, do you know how to edit audio? And I'm like, yeah, I went to school for broadcasting. I know how to edit audio. I have a podcast that I edit audio on. Anyways, so her mom actually has a podcast, and she's like, she's been looking for an editor. She can pay you, and so it's like you should kind of connect with her and see if that can work out where you guys can work together. So I'm like, sweet, that's awesome. So talk to her. Her name's Kim. So I've been working with her because I took it on because I'm like, you know what? This is a job. It's bringing in some money, which that's always fun. Yeah, so I did that. I've been working there. So basically, the long message of the story is something I was super excited for in the start. Then I was really uncomfortable and really uneasy. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I got rejected from that. And it was the weirdest feeling ever because rejection hurts. But then I'm like, I don't need to, like, I can just like move on from it. To then I got a job. And it's a job in the field that I went to school for. It's something I feel like I would like. I prefer to do this over the writing, the caption writing, because I'm also still doing caption writing for this other podcast. So yeah, it's been this weird time, and I mean, I have been like, I've been so busy because it was like she wanted to be 2 weeks ahead, and then I got caught up, and then she was behind schedule, so now I'm like kind of in that rushing phase again, trying to get ahead again. But anyways, it's like I have work to do. I'm very thankful for that. I've been enjoying it. It's a good time. I'm helping out one of my friend's moms. I'm getting paid for it. And it's actually something, it's not just like me working at like a burger shop, just like trying to make some money. It's like something I'm like, okay, money I paid for school is it's being used. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I got for this episode of My Unprofessional Opinion Podcast. I'm your host, Angela. Thanks so much for watching. Maybe you can relate to something I said. Hopefully, if you are in this job searching process, as a lot of people are because COVID, hopefully it goes well. Hopefully you find something. Hopefully it works out for you. I know my sister's going to be graduating. This is her last semester, and I told her, I'm like, listen, like, apply for jobs now. I heard that when I was in school, but I'm like, oh, I'll be fine. Like, I would take a break, and the break was a little longer than I would want it to be, but that's beside the point. So, you know, if you're in that season of your life where you're graduating college, I really, really, really strongly encourage you apply now. You know, get your name out there, meet people, build connections, email, phone people. If you can go in, probably not many places are letting you do that, but just do what you can, you know? Connect with people, because a lot of businesses, it's like who you know. And that's going to be a whole different conversation. But anyways, yeah, that's all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you could be encouraged. I don't know how, but if you could, let me know down below in the comments. And you can follow me on Instagram. It's linked down below always. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, folks.